Howdy folks, welcome back to the channel. We're doing another episode today of World in Flames Collector's Edition, Days of Decision 3, Combined Game Playthrough number 2. Quick note, last turn when I calculated the production for Japan, I calculated it wrong and somehow I come up with 14. I really even don't know how I came up with that number. The actual production should have been 11. And I have adjusted their starting money for this turn, subtracted 3 from them, so their starting money will be a little bit different than what it should be, in case anybody's doing the math. Today also is Thanksgiving in the United States, so happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I figure I got a little bit of time between preparing the meal and helping cook and stuff like that. I can film a little bit of this video. Maybe finish it up tonight or maybe tomorrow or something, get it uploaded soon enough. That being said, let's get right into it. Let's go take a look at starting money. Starting money for the July-August 1939 turn looks something like this. We have Germany at 9. Yes, she didn't spend very much last turn. We have Japan at -3. That's due to the production adjustment from last turn, the math mistake. We have Italy at 1, we have the Soviets at 0, we have the Commonwealth at -3, France at -2, USA at -1, and China at -3. All the Democrats seem to be running deficits this turn. I've taken a look at what the starting powers might want to do. As a note, Germany owes a declaration of war for the DoDIII they did on Denmark last turn. So that being said, I've come up with some bids for the major powers that want to get something done this turn, and it looks something like this. We have the Commonwealth bidding 1, Italy bidding 1, Germany bidding 1, the USA bidding 1, and Japan is bidding 1. There was a couple of major powers last turn who did not get to play a political option, who will be getting bonus bid points this turn. Those are the Commonwealth, Italy, and the USA. That being said, let's go take a look how this is going to shape up as far as political initiative order. Okay, we have the Commonwealth who bid 1. They're going to get 6 points because they did not get a political option last turn, so they'll get bonus bid points of their political effectiveness value, which is 6. So it's a +6 for that, and their current position is 5th, which gives them a +2. That's a total of 9. That's going to definitely put them in first. The Italians, who also did not get a political option last turn, bid 1, they're going to get +3 for their 3rd place position, and they're going to get 3 bonus bid points, which is their political effectiveness, 3. For a total of 7, that is definitely going to put them in 2nd. The Germans bid 1, they're going to get a +3 for their current political initiative position, which is 4. The USA also bid 1, they're going to get over here, they're going to get 1 for their, because they have a -1 due to the London Naval Treaty. They're going to get 1 for bonus bid points, and 2 for their current political position, which is a total of 4. So the Germans and the Americans are tied. However, Germany's political initiative is 5. America's is a 2 -1, which is 1. Germany breaks that tie. Germany will be 3rd. America will be 4th. And the last bidding major power is Japan. They bid 1. They're going to get +1 for their current political position, which is 2, and that will put them in that 5th. So the last card is on the Commonwealth, and the last card is on the Japanese. The major powers who did not bid this turn, we have the Soviet Union at +4. That's going to put them in at 6. The Chinese have a +1. That'll put them in at 7th. The French are at 0, so they will be 8th. So that shakes out how the political initiative is looking like. The Commonwealth is first up. Let's go take a look and see what they want to do. The Commonwealth, and they kind of wanted to do this last turn, but unfortunately the political phase ended for them too soon. They're going to propose a level 1 treaty with the United States. I don't do the cost for the treaty is 4 money. The U.S. entry will be at +3. There's a bunch of minor country effects, but none of that happens until we get to the American turn and they accept the treaty. So basically all that the Commonwealth does is they roll a die to see if they end the turn. Let's roll the die, see what happens. Okay, 7 don't do it. Die roll goes flying across the board, but hey, that's the way it goes sometimes. So we will move on to the next major power, which will be the Italians, and let's see what they're going to do. The Italians are interested in doing a minor economic agreement with Spain and get another resource from the Spanish. So that will cost them 4 money. It's a +1 to Spain, which I have just put out by taking off the -1 marker that is there. And now the Italians will get to activate a minor. And, wow. There's not a lot of good options for the Italians. I think they're going to activate Bulgaria, though. So take a look at what's in Bulgaria. There's a -1 German and a +1 Soviet. So they'll activate Bulgaria. We don't even need to go over to the status display because the ones basically do nothing. Bulgaria is not within anybody's ideology, so there's no modifiers. And now the Italians get to roll a die and see if they end the political phase and make everybody so happy. A 7 does not end the political phase. We will move down to Germany. See what they want to do. Okay, here we go. Germany's playing German option number 4. It's war. This option can be played once, and as many declarations of war can be declared just by using this option. Germany can declare on any number of countries. The cost for each one is either 3 or 8, depending on the type of minor country or major power that Germany is declaring war on. She already paid for Denmark, so all the minor country effects are only put out once, but the war chart is used for each declaration. She's also going to declare war on the Netherlands. Okay, and she knows the Netherlands has a guarantee from Great Britain, so that's probably going to end up being war in Europe at this point. Yeah, so she doesn't get to activate a minor. I'll put out the minor effects for the declaration of war on the Netherlands, and Germany will get to roll to see if she ends the political phase. And we'll be right back with that in a second. Okay, so I put the markers out, recorded the U.S. entry for the DoDIII on the Netherlands from the war chart. And now we just got to have, Germany doesn't get to activate a minor, so we just got to roll a die to see if Germany ends the political phase. Well, a 6 doesn't do it. So the political phase will continue, and we'll move down to the United States. And I'm pretty sure you can guess what they're going to do. I don't even have to bother to dig it out. Actually, the German booklet has the same political option in it. It's, I think it is the 0F, which is agree to a proposal. Yes, it is. So it's the Commonwealth version of this one right here. Agree to a proposal. And so the U.S. agrees to the level 1 treaty with the Commonwealth. So now I gotta go put out all the markers, record the U.S. entry for the Commonwealth, and the Commonwealth will get to activate a minor. So I'll be right back with that. The Commonwealth now gets to activate a minor, and I think they're gonna activate Poland. Now, they only have a +1 in Poland, granted, but there's a -3 Soviet there and a -3 German. So they should be able to move the Polish marker at least a little bit. So grab the markers. or the influence markers. We'll come over here to the status display. You can see Poland's right down there on the edge of the fascist ideology. And the markers we have a 1 French, we have a 1 Commonwealth, we have a -3 Soviet, and a -3 German. Okay, so the 1 French and the 1 Commonwealth, they are not going to do anything, so we'll just get rid of them. Drop the markers, take out half the British fleet. Alright, okay, so now the -3 Soviet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's not more than 11 away, so it will get affected by that. Now, it's going to drive it into this hex. Now, that's not further away from... It's further away from the French. It's also further away from the Germans, so it's going to be an extra point to get into this hex, because Poland has an alliance with both France and Germany. So it will cost 3 points for that hex, but it will move the marker there. Now the -3 German is going to drive Poland away from Germany, so it's going to drive them into this hex, I believe. 4, 2, 5. Yeah, it's going to have to be this hex. So again, they have an alliance with Germany, so it's going to cost an extra point to move it away from the German marker. So that's going to cost 3 for this hex, but there is a -3 from the Germans, so it does indeed put it in that hex. So the Commonwealth is kind of happy with that. And the last thing they're going to do is roll the die, see if they end the political phase. Let's come up here. You can see this will not make the Japanese very happy, but hey, there's been 3 previous political options played, so it's a -3 to the die. 10 minus 3 is 7, so no, the political phase will continue, and we will move down to Japan. Let's go see what the Japanese want to do. Japan is going to play her 0D option, which is build a factory or a synth. In this case, she's going to build a synthetic oil plant. That's this thing right here. As you can see, the cost is 8, so it's not cheap for Japan to build this. But I think in the long run, Japan's thinking that it'll produce 1 oil. Once it's completed, it does take 6 turns to build this. But she's thinking that, well, in the long term, even though this is 8 money, it'll actually benefit Japan. So Japan doesn't get to activate a miner. There's no U.S. effects. I'm going to pay the $8 for it. It's going to put Japan really in the hole, I think down to -12. And her credit limit's 15, so she's pushing the bounds right now. And that'll wrap up the... Yes, that wraps up the political phase, because Japan was the last major power to bid. So I'll come back in a few seconds, and we will roll initiative, and we will roll weather. I think the weather's probably going to be good. And then we will start off with the taking a look at reinforcements. Okay, so the weather roll came out something like this. 6 for the fascists, 7 for the Democrats, and a 1 for the communists. The fascists have a +2, the Democrats have a -1, and the communists have a +1 to the modifier for their initiative modifier. So the fascists won the initiative roll and decided to go first. The weather came out to be an 8. An 8. And the July-August turn is going to be fair weather everywhere, storm and north monsoon. Impulse marker moves up 1. Reinforcements for this turn. I already put them out. I forgot to push the record button. But the Italians got a carrier. This is basically what it looks like. The Commonwealth also got a tanker point. But the Soviet units are from the Nomanano incident. Came off Mac once that ended. The Germans have a mechanized corps, or an armored corps, and an artillery unit. There was a submarine that went into the construction pool for both the transport that went into the construction pool for the Italians, and a submarine that went into the construction pool for the Germans. This will change some of the London Naval Treaty ratios, but I don't think they're going to matter much after this, because once general war breaks out, the London Naval Treaty is suspended. And with the German declaration of war on the Netherlands, that's pretty much going to happen. Alright, I'll get these on the board, and then we will start with the first impulse of the fascists. Okay, over here in Asia, the Japanese are taking a combined, because they basically don't think they're going to do too much. Taking a look at the board, and this blue line right here, okay, down here is north monsoon, it's storm. So any attacks are going to be 2 column shifts to the left, which is bad. And in addition to that, anything that moves is just going to get flipped over. So they really don't want to. Do anything like that for this turn. So they're basically, I think they're basically going to hold pat. They don't really have anything they can move up here. They do have full supply. Yeah, the only unit that's out of supply is this one right here. Because everything can trace back to a port. It's at least 2 hexes away, which can get supply from Japan. Yeah, I don't really think the Japanese. Yeah, they're just going to hold pat. They don't really see any opportunities at this point. All these Chinese units are behind rivers or in mountains. Yeah, they're just going to sit there and stare at the Chinese. Let's go check out Europe. Okay, the Germans will be taking a land action. Now, normally when a major power is neutral or is at war with a minor, they are limited to combined. However, in this case, the Netherlands has a guarantee with the Commonwealth. So this allows the Germans, who just declared war on the Netherlands, to take a full land impulse. That only occurs when a major power goes to war with a minor, which is guaranteed by another major power. So let's see what the Germans are going to do here. Let me grab my sequence of play. Okay, we're going to skip down to F. We're going to take a full land phase action. That's going to cost Germany 1 oil. And we're going to skip down to ground strike missions. Germany does have 1 ground strike mission they want to do. They're going to take the Stukas and try to do a ground strike on these units in this in the capital of the Netherlands. Now, normally the fighter that the Netherlands have could rise up and engage in combat with the Stukas. However, this is the surprise turn, so they don't get to do that. You also see that I have set up the Belgians because I'm pretty sure they're going to end up in this at some point. Okay, so let's do the ground strike. It's 2 dice for each one. There are, well, the sub doesn't count. There's 2 units. The Stukas are 4s. So the top unit is flipped, and the bottom unit is not. So the Stukas fly back, get flipped over because they've been used. I think we'll put them here. I'll put them here. Now, after ground strikes, I believe is rail movement. There isn't any rail movement. And now we're down to land movement. Land movement. Now, because it's a surprise turn, the effect of straits and rivers is negated. The air unit is flipped over. There you go. So these guys here, 1, 2, 3. They're going to go there. 2, 3. These are all overrun. I'll have to roll for those. All right. Just want to make sure nobody pulls any hanky stuff, you know. Alright, so we have a probably one attack. We're down to the land attack shit. Debark land units, invasions, paradrops, land combat. We have, this is all going to be straight up. There's 11 there. 13, 27, 27, 31, 138, 44. 44 to 4 is an 11. There's 4 defending factors. That's an 11 to 1. It doesn't matter what table you pick. 7 to 1, Blitzkrieg, automatic. 10 to 1, assault, automatic. So the Netherlands is basically defeated. This guy is gone. The sub will also have to roll for overrun. The fighter is overrun. Since it's flipped down, face down. These guys are going to occupy. It doesn't get a chance to escape anyways, and the pilot is destroyed as well. So let's roll for the ships that got overrun. We got 1 roll there, 1 roll here, and 1 roll here. So it's basically a 1. The ship is captured by the Axis, the Germans. 2 to 5, it's scrapped. 2 to 4, it's scrapped. 5, it gets away. I don't know where it's going to go because nobody's aligned this minor. Nor the major powers are involved in war with Germany, so it's really got no place to escape to. So they probably, unless a 1 is rolled, they're probably going to get scrapped. So for the 3 tanker points, that's gone. The convoy points, these will actually be captured by the Germans. And finally, the sub is scrapped as well. So these 2 units are scrapped. These guys are dead, and these 4 points are captured by the Germans. I'll leave them right here, I guess. So leave them right here. And I think that's the end of the fascist impulse. We will move on to the Democrats. Okay, I swapped out the Netherlands convoy points for German ones. Just going to be easier to keep track of. And so now we move on to the Democrats. And, well, now the British and the French, they got a decision to make. They got to decide, is it time for war? Or I think the French are saying yes, because if they don't, then the Germans can just DoW Belgium next turn and overrun them. And then the French will be in an even worse situation than they are right now. The French are okay in the air. They're looking at that. They actually outnumber the Germans in fighters. And with the British fighters, they really outnumber the Germans in fighters. But they're thinking, yeah, it's time. And so the Commonwealth is going to declare war on Germany using the casus bellum Germany created by attacking and conquering the Netherlands. France also is going to declare war on Germany. They are using the level 3 treaty war clause. So that gives them the ability to declare war as well. They can't align Belgium this turn. They'll have to wait. They can't align a minor the same impulse that you declare war, so they'll have to wait. However, now that both France and the Commonwealth are at war with a major power, the Commonwealth will call out their reserves, this stack right here, and the French will call out their reserves, which is this stack right here, plus this unit that got dropped. Okay, all these units are going to be deployed face down, but as you can see, there's quite a few of them. So I'm going to do that, and we'll come back with any movement or what the major powers, or what the Commonwealth and the French want to do. I'll be back in a second. Okay, the Commonwealth is going to take a naval and that's going to cost them how much oil? It's going to cost them 12/15. It's going to cost them 1.2 oil. I'll take care of that. That leaves them with 0.8. All their reserves have been deployed. They got some ships they're going to move around. They're going to get the convoy escorts out, and I can do all that off camera. But the basic gist is they're going to take the 2 transports here, move them into the North Sea. 3. I'm going to escort them with the home fleet. It's right here. I can go into the 3 box. Oh, that's a reserve. Sorry. All right, and I'm going to embark some land units. I'm going to embark this guy. Actually, they got 4 transports. 3 transports. They're going to use all 3. I'm going to embark that guy. And this guy, I'm going to take Gort and the artillery unit. So I got 3 units going to France when they get to the debark land units, which will be after land movement. So we'll do the land movement for the French. Oh, I have not aligned Belgium yet, so that's obviously going to happen. So this stuff can go away. But I think they got some stuff they want to shift around here. Or maybe not. Yeah, I think he's got to stay there. Yeah, I don't really see a whole lot for the French to move this turn. I think their headquarters is going to come down here. And they got a 5-4 here, so we'll move him down here. Leave that there for now. And then that's it for land moves for the French. Definitely didn't want to do any ground strikes because they all got to be done this way. And I got like 1 or 2 units. Yeah, it's not worth it. Better off using that unit for those units for ground support. Okay, so now that's it. Land movement's done. Debark land units at sea. So the British are going to debark these 3 units. This one will go in Boulogne, and these 2 will go in Calais. And that uses up their transports. And that is done. And then we are done. We're on to the communists. I'll be back in a second with that. We are at the Soviet impulse, or the communist impulse. The communist Chinese, I don't think they're going to move anything at this point. And so the Soviet Union is going to play their option for reactionary, demand border concessions, and they're going to demand Bessarabia from Romania. Germany, who is controlling Romania, will allow that claim. I placed a -5 Soviet marker in Romania to reflect that. The U.S. entry was the treaty chart, and that's about it. The Soviets take a combined impulse. They go 1-2, take that, and Bessarabia is conquered or claimed. Now it becomes part of the Soviet Union, I believe. I'll have to look that up. They have a few other things they want to move. He's going to go there. They have 5 land moves, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 more. That's 5. Alright, they're good with that. Okay, we'll roll weather. Make a weather die roll here. See what we get for weather. I don't really think it's going to matter too much. Well, 6. 6 on the weather chart Oh, same weather it was before. It's pretty much the same weather everywhere. Unless there's a 1 or a 12, the weather really pretty much stays the same in July, August, globally. So the fascists, I don't know about the Japanese. I think the Japanese are just going to hang tight for now. The Germans, I'm just going to move a few units. And I'll probably come back with the Democrats. Okay, the one thing that I wanted to point out was the reserves for Germany. Germany gets to call out their reserves now because she's at war with a major power. And you can see that the Germans have a pretty good sized stack of reserves. It's one of the reasons why they don't really worry too much about building a whole lot of land forces, because they know they get this gigantic stack of reserves when they go to war. So I'm going to deploy their reserves, and then I will come back. We will be on the Democrat impulse. I'll be back in a second. Okay, for the Democrat impulse, the Nationalist Chinese are not doing anything. They're kind of happy with the way things look right now. The North Monsoon is the only place that they could move anything, and they don't want to move it stuff and have it flipped over. So, okay, over here, the French are going to do a land action, and I think they're going to move up into the Ardennes. Yep. Okay, and I think the French can actually stack with the Belgians, and I think that's what they're going to want to do. I want to stack with these guys. This hex is kind of tough, so we don't really need to do that. We'll put these two here. See, we got a nice double line, except for that hex. Can't have everything. 1, 2, 3, but now it is. The British, actually this will go into here. The British are all going to go right here. They're kind of happy there. The Western Allies are the British are taking it combined. And that's it. Alright, now we got some air rebasing. That was land movement. We got some air rebasing. I want to rebase, the French want to rebase this guy to here. This guy to here. The Commonwealth is going to rebase this guy to here. And this guy is going to rebase to here. And I'll rebase him to here. There. Good. Excellent. They're kind of happy with that. That's the end of the Democrat impulse. Now we'll move on to the fascists, and we'll roll weather again. Okay, we're back for the fascist impulse. Keep losing my chart. Alright, so we gotta roll for weather first. Oh my gosh. The weather roll was a 1. That is fair weather everywhere. Even in North Monsoon. So I think maybe we'll start in Asia, and then we'll come over to Europe after. Because I think the Japanese have one thing to do. So we'll come over here. We got fair weather everywhere. So Japan is going to be making one attack right here. There's 6 points there. Japan has 12, 22. 22 to 6. It's 3 to 1. Oh, actually, she's going to make a ground strike first. Let's see if we can flip it over. Okay. Need a 1. 8 is not a 1. So it looks like we will do... Oh. excuse me. The other option that Japan has is they could use their artillery to bombard the hex. Now that turns the artillery face down, but they're looking at a 3-to-1. 3-to-1. It's obviously going to be on the assault table. They're probably all going to be face down anyways. Yeah. We'll use the artillery to bombard. We'll try it a second time. Don't usually do that, but sometimes you just have to. So this will be a 1 or a 2. And fail again. Wow, the Japanese just fail left and right. So now we got 20-6, which is a 3-to-1 attack. Let's roll a die and see what happens. An 8. Probably shouldn't have bombarded. Okay, now it's not that great. It's no losses to the Japanese, 1 loss to the Chinese, and then the remaining units are shattered. All the units will be turned face down. So the Japanese are kind of okay with that. I mean, it does definitely compromise the Chinese line. So all the Japanese units are turned face down. I guess the one that will occupy the hex will be this guy. The 8-3 is turned face down. That kind of shuts things down in Japan, in this area, for probably another full turn. The Japanese really need some reinforcements on the mainland China. They're getting stretched thin. And the Chinese just seem to be building up. Okay, good attack. Oh, I'll show you the result that I got real quick. It's on the assault table. It's on the 3-to-1 column. Rolled an 8. So that's /1s. Alright, let's go over to Europe. Alright, so I think the Germans are probably going to take a land impulse. I think I'm going to have to do some futzing around with the Germans and figure out exactly what they're going to do and where they're going to do it for this turn. So rather than have you sit here and watch me for 20 minutes trying to figure out what to do, I'll break here and we'll come back with any ground strikes the Germans may do and then go right to combat. Okay, we got some German ground strikes. We got a German ground strike here and here. But since this has got French units in it, but unfortunately it's out of the range of the British, and it's actually in the hex of Belgium, but I don't think that matters. But the hexes that have Belgian units, the British can't cooperate with them, even though they have a level 3 treaty with France. Something about the minor allies of the France of the treaty partner can't cooperate with the other treaty partner. I just went in the rules and looked, and yeah, that's what it says. So anyways, the French have to decide, are they going to go all in here or not? And I think they're going to go all in. And this is a pretty important attack, so I think out of range of their ground support, but I think they're going to go all in with their fighters. So they're just going to pile all the fighters in. That's in range. That's in range. That's in range. That's in range. I think these twin engine fighters suffer a -1 when engaging in aerial combat. And that's in range. I think that's what the orange denotes, but I'll have to look that up. And of course the Germans are going to counter-intercept with all their fighters, which I believe they have 4 or 5. So we're going to have a pretty big air battle. And I will put this all out and we'll see what it looks like. Probably going to put it up here. Okay, here we go. I actually had this one buried over here, so the Germans actually had a pretty good fighter that could intercept. But the other fighter they had, the what's the name of that guy? The HE-51A, he was actually out of range. So I'll just put him back on the board. I didn't realize he had a range of 2, which is pretty bad for a fighter. Range of 2. Anyways. So we got 7.1 versus, because it's the combat value of the front fighter, and then 1/10 of the ones behind it add to that. So that's 7.1, and the French have 4, and then they got 4, 8, 14, 17, which is another 1.7, so 5.7. So 7.1 minus 5.7 is 1.4, so it's going to be a +1 -1. The, let's see, I think I have some, yeah, okay, so the French roll first on the -1 column. And they rolled a pretty terrible 12. -1 column, a 12 is attacker clears through any one bomber. So since both German bombers are the same, they just clear through one of them. Doesn't really matter. Alright, now the Germans reply. They rolled a 7. And on a +1 column, the 7 is attacker abort. Attacker aborts defender's front fighter or front bomber. So we're going to abort the front fighter. He's got to go someplace. I think he'll go, he can fly all the way back to Paris. So that's where he's going to go. That's round 1. Round 2 is going to change now, because we still have 7.1, but the French are now at 4. That's 7. 7 and 6 is 1.3, so they're at 5.3 to 7.1. That's going to be +2 -2. And when you start getting past +2 -2, it starts getting really bad. Well, we're going to keep going. So the French will try it again. And that's an 11. That's like the absolute worst die roll you can make. Attacker clears through any one. Oh, defender clears through any one bomber. So yeah, our last bomber will get through. And the Germans get their chance to roll on the +2 column. And they roll a 5, which is actually a really good result. 5 on the +2 column is attacker destroys. Attacker destroys defender's front fighter or front bomber. So the front fighter for the French is destroyed. That was bad. The pilot lives though, so they can take consolation prize there that the pilot actually lived. And I got to return these 5. Obviously, the French are going to abort. I got to return the fighters, and then we'll go on to the ground strikes. Okay, here we are. So the Germans have an attack here, an attack here with a ground strike, and an attack here with ground strike. So we'll do the first ground strike. Let's see. This is 2 Heinkel 111Bs. And there are 2 units there. So the red die will be the top unit, and the white die will be the bottom unit. Okay, so for the first one, first unit, jeez, crying out loud, a 3 and a 10. So the 3 doesn't do anything. We need 2, I believe. That's what they are. They are 2s, yes. Okay, so for the bottom unit, Okay, so we got a 2 and a 5, so the bottom unit is flipped. So the Belgian guy is flipped over there, flippeted. He is flippeted. And now we have one more ground strike. What do I do with them bombers? Okay, they gotta go fly home and be flippeted over. I don't know where they can go, so I'm just going to put them someplace. Maybe here and there, I guess. Okay. All right. So the other one, we got 3 units here. We got another Heinkel 111B. He's a 2. He's also got to fly someplace. Okay. So we're going to grab 3 dice. So there's 3 units there. This is 2s again. So white top, green middle, red bottom. So a 9, 5, 6 don't do anything. Big squad on them ground strikes. Okay, now we're at the point where it's time for HQ support. And I think we're going to have to use some HQ support here with the Germans. Okay, this guy here is a 4-to-1. He's going to be on the Blitzkrieg table because it's forest, and we can actually blitz through forest, I believe. Can blitz through forest. It's not a city. Non-city hex is clear forest to desert. So yes, we can blitz. You just can't get the extra hex after, not that it matters too much. Oh, that's going to be through a 4-to-1, not a 6-to-1. Alright, so I think the Germans will use Lieb for HQ support. So that will give him a +1 if the French don't use a headquarters. There's no headquarters here. And I think the French will feel compelled to Bilouette. He will have to do HQ support as well. And that gives him 2 turn face down units in that 1 hex. That's bad. So we got a 4-to-1 here. It's going to be on the Blitzkrieg table, and it's straight up. Let's see, 4-to-1 on the Blitzkrieg table. All right, let's see what we get. Oh gosh. All right. All right. Where's my die? 4-to-1. Straight up. And the die roll came out to be a 10. French don't catch any breaks. A 10 is, check this out on the table. It's on the Blitzkrieg table. Let's say assault table. The Blitzkrieg table is down here. 4-to-1. 10 is star 2B. So 2 units destroyed. 1 unit shattered. That's this guy right here. Did I just screw that up? Oops. All right, I gotta fix this. Okay, I got a slight calculating error here. Actually, I used this unit to do this stack to use 2 different attacks, so there will be no attack here. The attack will be here instead. So that's the way it goes. Sometimes you just mess up. Can't have two stacks doing two different attacks. It doesn't quite work like that. But let's see what we got here. Oh, well, actually, you know, that's okay. The ground strikes will stand because we're happy with that. Now over here we have a 6-1. This is not going to be on the Blitzkrieg table. That's going to be on the assault table. He's in range of Presselot, or whatever his name is. But do the French burn that? If I flip him upside down, he's going to be all by himself. And if you look at 6-1 on the assault table, it's a 5-1. Are we going to use any? Yeah, we're gonna use HQ support from Runestadt. So he is a 4. Actually, a 4. It doesn't matter. It won't matter with him because 4 minus 2 is 2. Divided by 4 is 0.5. Is still a +1. So he's going to have a +1 anyway. So we're going to have a 5-1 +1 on the assault table. Let's check out what that's going to look like. If I can keep the dice within the screen. Okay, that's not too bad. Not too bad a roll. 6 on 5-1, which is a 7, is star 2S. So the cav unit is killed, and there are a couple ships that will escape. They will escape because they're not upside down. So, and we're going to occupy the hex like that. And I think that is it. We got to rebase. I got a fighter down here that Germany's going to rebase up to here because even though it's a 3-point fighter, it's still a 3-point fighter. Actually, we're rebasing right here. Piece of junk. Okay, put these guys back like that. All right, and that's the end of. So I went and dug out my junky little fighter, put him over here. Okay, he rebased. He rebased from down here. It's almost at his max range to rebase. Pretty pathetic. What is this anyways? HE51A. Oh yeah, good one. Okay, so I think we're done with the fascists. The Japanese are definitely happy with what they got. So we'll move on to the Democrats. Well, I think the French are going to take a land phase. Wow, I don't know what's going to happen with... I think we have to fall back a little bit. This is the problem with this, is that... Okay, we do have a... Oh, actually, I missed that guy. He could have... I don't want him upside down anyways. And a 5 or a 6 wouldn't have made any difference. A 6 or 7 rather. Alright, so Georges, I think he's going to come back to here. Or no, he's going to come back to here. We're going to stand on the French border. The British are going to move back to Calais. And we'll just leave the Belgians here to die. Right, that's the way it's going to be. Yours will come over here. Oh, actually, we got to put something in this hex. That's a 5-3, so that's not too bad. We'll put yours in there. Put this guy here. This one's going to go here. It's actually looking pretty bad. I'm going to move him here, move him here. So I must start moving some units down by the Italian border, because obviously, actually we're going to, this is a city, we're going to train this, and we're going to move this up to pretty lit. Yep. This is where it becomes obvious that the French just don't have enough units. And actually, in this particular game, I tried to build as many French units as I could, but it just... They need that pause. They need the Sitzkrieg, I think that's what it is. But we'll see what happens. The Germans still got to blow through Belgium here. And their air force is pretty much all flipped over. They have one pathetic fighter, and that's about it. Alright, so that's the end of the Democrat turn. And now we're on to the Communists. I don't think the Communists are going to do anything. Even China looks good. We'll move back to the Fascists and roll for weather. Let's get the weather die roll over here. A 2. Oh, that's pretty much fair weather everywhere. Oh no, back to rain in North Monsoon. Everything else stays the same. And we'll probably have the Germans doing a land impulse again. I don't know if I'm going to spend. I'll probably have to spend the oil, so I will spend the full oil. And land impulse. Oh. Alright, I'm going to move some Germans around. I don't think there's going to be any grand strikes or anything, and I'll come right back with what they're going to do. Okay, we're back. I believe it's time to roll for weather. Let's see. I'll roll it over here somewheres. A 2. Let's see. What is a 2? 2 is rain in North Monsoon, fair weather everywhere else. The impulse marker moves up 1. So, we're going to go start with the Fascists. Germany, first thing Germany is going to do is they're going to align Finland and they're going to align Sweden. So those two minor countries now become allies of Germany. The same way that Belgium became allies of France. And the Belgian marker should be underneath Paris to denote that Belgium is an aligned minor. And the Swedish and Finnish markers, Germany does have an alliance with both, and they are currently stacked with Germany on the status display. Those will go in Berlin, just to denote that those miners are now fully aligned with the Germans. And that being said, I think Germany is going to choose a land impulse and pay the full oil. The cost for those aligns, I'll have to look that up. It is 5 for each, so that's a whopping 10. Puts Germany at -5 right now. France and Britain are France is at -13. Britain's at -16. Yeah, there's a lot of minuses going on. That's what happens when this turn is extremely active. And this turn seems to be extremely active. It's okay. I think what I'll do is I'll break here and I'll do the movement, and then I'll come back and see if Germany has any attacks, which I probably think they're going to. I don't know what's going on over there in the east. I don't think Japan really has much to do. They really can't get an attack in at this point. They just don't have the land forces. So I'm probably going to skip that. So I'll be back after I do the land movement for the Germans. Okay, for movement, Germany basically, they were supposed to be reorganized. Germany spent offensive points to reorganize Rundstadt. Should have flipped that over. That costs a total of 2 plus the reorganization value, which is 6. Basically, moved this stack here, this stack went here, the units that were here kind of filtered down into this area, one of them's right here. These units kind of just move forward. So she basically has 2 attacks. There's no air power involved because there is no air power. I actually took off the units, the air units that were on the stacks, just so I could see what was under there. Put them back at the end of the impulse. Alright, so we got a 6-1, which becomes 5-1 here. Germany will flip over Rundstadt again to get HQ benefits, because even though there's a Belgian unit that's face down, gives the Germans a +1. There's a factor in the hex, which gives a -1. So this will be another +1. Let's see what happens. This will be on the assault table, and there's no 6-1, so it's going to be a 5-1. Let's see. Let's get the die roll. Well, a 9 is a pretty good result. See, on 5-1 on the assault table, right here, a 9, which becomes a 10, is star to S. So the Belgians are eliminated. All right. So these guys are gone, and Belgium that's the capital of Belgium. Will occupy with these 2 infantry units. Now this unit here, actually I think it's out of supply now because its supply source is here, but actually it can draw from French supply sources. I gotta look that up. Okay, I looked it up, and the Belgian unit can indeed trace supply back to the French HQ back here, even though all the supply sources for Belgium currently are occupied by enemy units. The unit can still trace supply because it hasn't got to the conquest step yet. So until it gets to the conquest step, when the unit will be removed, it can still trace supply. So Germany has a 6-1 attack on it. Do we bother? It's got a +1. Yeah, I think so. Anything we roll except the 1 is going to be awesome. So we will do a 6-1. It's a +1 because the unit's flipped over. So a 5, which is a 6 on the Blitzkrieg table. See, the 6 is star 2B. 6-1. 6 star 2B. That's a breakthrough. The Germans do have mechanized units here. So let's see. This unit is eliminated. And let's see. This is all infantry. But the Germans do have mech right here. So that guy will go there. And I think this stack will go here. Just like that. Germany is very happy so far. The French are not very happy. And the Commonwealth is bewildered why their allies on the continent are falling apart. Alright. I think that's done. And we'll move on to the Democrats. This is the first impulse that the turn can end. I think we'll go over to Asia. See what's going on over here. Oh, the Germans had 1 aircraft rebase they wanted to do. Okay, so the Germans just rebased the Finnish aircraft from Finland down into next to Stettin. It's actually a pretty decent bomber. It's about as good as a Heinkel. So hey, why not use it if you can? All right, over here. Oh boy. So it's rained down here, but the Chinese moved this stack last turn and ended up all flipped over, obviously. But they still got this problem hex right here. So I think they're going to take the 5-3 and just grit and bear it and move him forward and seal up that hole. And I think that's it. Let's go back to Europe. Well, I'm going to break right here, and I'll try to figure out what to do with the French as far as movement goes, and come back and see what it looks like. Okay, I've taken a look at the Democrats situation, specifically the French. And we got a couple of units moving up from the south here, from down on the border with the Italians. Hopefully the Italians don't decide to stab France in the back, but you can never tell with them. The British have taken over another hex for defending France. We got a couple of HQs here. I think that's about the best that the French can do right now. I don't see any other viable option for them at this point. So we will say that's it and move on to the communists. Oh, we have to roll to see if the turn ends. Huh, wouldn't that be funny? Let's see. Let me grab a die for the... I'll use this one. I'll get this one out of here. Alright, so the turn ends actually on a 1. And the turn has ended. That just probably saved France's bacon right there. A tie roll of 1, and the turn is over. Alright, let's see. I got some bookkeeping to do, and then I will come back. Oh, let's see. So the communists didn't get their impulse. The fascists and the French dead. Alright, so that basically just switches the fascists and the communists on the initiative, the ideological initiative track. Okay, so I'll be back with production in a little bit, and we'll go from there. Okay, U.S. entry. The rolls I made for U.S. entry came out with a +1 for Germany. That was a 6-6. A +1 for Germany and a 0 for Japan. The partisan roll ended up being South Africa with the possibility of getting partisans, but the roll was too high for that. The roll was an 8, and the partisan level was 5. So that, and I don't even know if, I'm not sure if that actually, yeah, I think it does because it's in red. So yeah. So then I went to production, and we have Germany. German production has moved up to 18 now. She started with 13 and she spent 14. She is building a pilot, pulled a sub out of the construction pool, got an infantry corps, laid down a battleship, laid down a sub, got a combat air group and a fighter and a twin-engine bomber. Japan produced 11. We got that right this time. And started with a -1 and she spent 4. She got the convoy point, a combat air group, and laid down the, laid down the Zukaku. That should be upside down. Pulled that out of the cups. Italy's production improved a little bit. She produced 8, started with 4 and spent 4. She is building a pilot and pulled a transport out of the construction pool. The Soviets produced 7, started with 4 and spent 5, built a pilot and an infantry army. The Commonwealth. The Commonwealth production has improved a little bit. Because of the trade agreement they have with the U.S., they're getting 3/4 of a build point from the free trader part, plus the U.S. is sending them a build point. So their net production was 13 this turn. They started at -3 and they spent 4. 2 convoy points and a pilot. They're trying to dig themselves out of the hole. The French, they produced 6, started at -7. And spent 3. They are building an infantry corps. The U.S. produced 9. Well, actually, they produced 11. But they sent a build point to China, and they sent a build point to the Commonwealth. So they produced 9, started with 8, and spent 9. They took the Texas out of the repair pool, built a pilot, 2 convoy points, 2 combat air groups, and laid down. That should be upside down. Laid down the USS Washington. China produced 6. They got 1 from a cadre and 1 from a build point from the US. So that netted them a result of 6. They started with 3 and they spent 3 on an infantry corps. So I will get these on the circle. This turn's been kind of long, so I will put this turn together and upload it. And hey, today is Thanksgiving in the United States, so everybody have a Thanksgiving. Great Thanksgiving. And I will see you maybe for another video, probably in a day or so. And like, subscribe. I appreciate the comments that people make, and I appreciate people that try to put these videos out to other people that might be interested in it. And see you next time. Thanks a lot.